Okay, before I say anything else, I need to get a certain point out of the way. I need to clear things up. I need to emphasize that I am not what some would call a brony. I may have called myself that some months ago, back when I thought that that was just the default blanket term used for anyone who has the capacity to find some deranged enjoyment in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And there are still some people who use the term that broadly. For anyone who is able to, sit at the show for more than a few seconds without projectile vomiting all over their computer screen, or their TV screen, or whatever screen they just happen to be watching it on at the time. But that term has recently been made much more exclusive. Now it is reserved for those sorts of people who spend their days on 4chan brushing the manes of all the dolls they wasted big loads of money on before, fapping to pony porn on some pony boru or whatever, where they're drawn in the same art style as they are on the show, go figure. And I need to emphasize that I am not one of these people. I am just someone who casually watches a show because it's like a nice little treat I get once a week. It's just something that brightens my day every now and then. And I don't want any of you telling me that, oh, well, you must have a really miserable excuse for life if you actually need this stuff to make you feel better, or that I'm a faggot, or that I'm a disgrace who doesn't deserve to be called a man, or whatever other horse shit you're going to try to throw at me. And I need to say to the Archfiend, since this is a response to his video, I am not attacking you in any way. I'm not trying to pwn you, I'm not trying to make a comeback or anything. This is just me giving an honest answer to an honest question that you asked. And, those of you who really just can't get into the show, I am not trying to convert any of you. If you think you might enjoy it, go ahead and try it. If you really, really want to avoid this show, then just watch this video instead. I'm not going to try to tell you, oh, you just need to sit through enough episodes to understand what makes it special. Yeah, then you'll see. I'm just going to try to make you understand as simply and frankly as I can, to the best of my ability. Alright? So, save yourself the ordeal, or whatever. Anyway, My Little Pony, as a franchise, as a whole, is just stupid, tasteless, mindless fluff. It is worthless mush. It is tripe. It is horrible. It is genuinely bad for you. It's a sort of stupid thing where the characters aren't even characters. They're just little animated pieces of candy that just prance around daintily, sip tea, giggle over every little thing that comes their way, save the day by crying, and are completely and utterly devoid of any scrap of a personality. And they just purport this stupid ideology, this stupid stereotype of what a lot of people think a perfect little girl is supposed to be. What an alarming amount of people actually want to make their little darlings into. And I cannot condone that sort of material. It is stupid. It is wasteful. It is just horrible. But this new show, Friendship is Magic, is nothing like the rest of those other seasons. This is very, very different. It shouldn't even be compared to those other seasons. It should be in its own completely separate category. It should be divorced from the rest of the franchise completely. Because unlike those other seasons, this is a little something called character. The characters no longer behave like fictional, impossible little girls. They behave a lot like real people. They have flaws. They have insecurities. They have the capacity to be mean to each other and hurt each other deeply. They can fuck up every now and then. And that's what makes them relatable and memorable. And, if you see them fuck up enough and make up for it, you just might start to like them. Who knows? But anyway, why don't we all just fess up and admit that it, as genuinely enjoyable as this show can be, regardless of your age or your gender, what really turns all of us off when we first hear about this show is the art style. Well, aside from that stupid migraine-inducing theme song that I will never like. That stupid theme song. I just hate it. I hate it. But anyway, the art style is the biggest hurdle for those who more or less possibly could get into the franchise, and the biggest turn-off to people who downright hate it. Why don't we all just admit that the way it's drawn is what determines how we judge the show. We can't help but, see what it looks like and assume that it's just more of the same, because it looks like a coloring book made for dumb little girls who can't perform complete sentences because they're just 5-year-old kids and all this stuff. And I'm not trying to sound really judgmental toward little kids or whatever, because I have met some very smart little kids. But when people say that this sort of thing is just for little kids, I do find that kind of insulting, because Little kids can barely even speak when they're like 4 or 5. How the hell are they supposed to understand what the heck is going on the screen? They have no idea. They don't have the capacity to understand. They'll watch the show because of the art style, because it's drawn in a way that makes it look like it's made for them. But the material, the characters and all that stuff, it's just too freaking smart for them. And that is the greatest strength of My Little Pony. It appeals to little kids because of the way it's drawn, and it appeals to older people because it doesn't insult their intelligence. But that's also the fatal flaw of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, because even though it is a smart, creative, and enjoyable show, it still has an art style that a lot of people can't help being turned off by. It's a natural reaction. I do think they're being superficial, and in the end they should kind of feel bad about it, but whatever, they're entitled to be turned off by the art style. I won't blame them. It's all natural. Most people can't help but look at this and assume there's just more of the same shit, because the art style is only befitting of such stupid material. But anyway, yeah. I just don't like this other stereotype people seem to be purporting of like a big manly man who's just constantly oozing testosterone and jizz out of every available sweat pore anytime they move a muscle. Because real men aren't scared of little cartoon ponies. And the thing is, I don't take this show that seriously. I do enjoy it because it is genuinely enjoyable. It's tasteful. It has tact. I'd much rather watch this than something like, say, The Jersey Shore or Jerry Springer or whatever. And there is a lot of crap on TV. There have been a lot of crappy cartoons for like the latter half of the last decade. And it's shows like this and Transformers Prime and Young Justice and whatever that are making me start to have faith that cartoons could once be good again. And, that's all I really wanted to say. Okay, guys, those of us, the people like me who have been able to get past the gaudiness of the art style have been able to appreciate the expressiveness of it and the character of the material featured in the show, because it is nice. It's just genuinely enjoyable. And those of you who just can't get past the art style, those of you who just can't find it within yourselves to enjoy it, to give it a chance, that's perfectly fine. This is just my answer to those who are utterly befuddled, confounded by how could any self-respecting man actually enjoy this crap? But I do respect myself. I don't see this as, a stain to my reputation, to my image or whatever. I don't think this makes me any less than a man. And I guess that's really all I have to say. So yeah, have a good day, Archfiend, and yeah guys, I got a new camera, I'm back in the game! And though I am recording this on April 7th, I will be uploading it the next day, which is my birthday, so when you're watching this tomorrow, or now, from your perspective, go ahead, yeah, wish me happy birthday, anyway. Yeah. Toodles, peeps, I'm back, and I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you found it enlightening, and that's really all I can say. Toodles.